Hi guys, in this video I'll be doing a walkthrough of the All About Reading Level 3 using Lesson 16, and I will include a flip through of the teacher's manual at the back. You can also check out their website where they have tons of free resources on their website. Before I get into the walkthrough, I just want to share that I've used all 4 levels of the program. One of my children, I have 3 children, one of my children used all 4 levels, and I'm currently using the level 3 with my 3rd and my 5th graders. So I do have a child using this at, so to speak, an older age. Now the program is not necessarily meant to be age specific, but in my humble opinion, as I shared in the video that I did before the level 2 walkthrough, if they're using it at an older age, you know, they may or may not be, you know, as engaged when it comes to specifically, like, say, the activities. That's my humble opinion. I also want to say that I really like the level 2 and 3 of this program. Now, I think the entire program is excellent. But again, even though it's not meant to be age specific, depending on what they may or may have done before, or say if they have any particular learning challenges, or if they're using this at an older age, I think can kind of determine whether one or all 4 levels might, you know, be absolutely necessary, right? But I really like the level 2 and levels 2 and 3. Probably if it is I was starting off with an older child, I probably would go with 2, 3, and 4. But if you're starting off with nothing else and you know, you are interested in the All About Reading program, I think that all 4 levels, if you can, is a really excellent program. But please take that with you know, a pot spoon of salt. all right, so each lesson starts off by telling you what it is you would need for that lesson, and there is a section to the front that is actually meant for you to go through before you begin the lesson. And in this version, because my levels 1 and 2, they are, you know, the older version, so they are black and white, but this one is nice and colorful, so you can clearly see, you know, that because it's, you know, kind of in this tannish yellowish kind of color. Not that it being color or not really ever really made a big difference to me, but you know, it does stand out. All right, so you would need to swing into reading pages, which is the activity book, and the word cards. Like I've shared in previous All About Reading videos, at this stage I do not use the All About the Reading word cards. I tend to go through the words listed in the activity book for that particular lesson. If it is I wanted them to go through for fluency, I would just have them read it from there. And I did check for this particular lesson that I am walking through. Turn to it, lesson 16. And with the exception of one word, all of the words that's on the, you know, those 10 cards for this lesson is actually, you know, on this page. So there you go. I do use the phonogram cards though. Not all the time, but I do it often enough when I think that they need just a little refresher to make sure that they are keeping up with the different sounds that all of the phonograms make. You know, I do, you know, kind of like just take a lesson and we would go through the phonograms, all of the phonogram sounds. All right, or most of a lesson. All right, so that's that. So you need, that's what you need for the lesson. And then you have the before you begin section. Now, as I said, it's meant for you to go through, but a lot of times I tend to read through it and, you know, kind of have them start the lesson before they actually start the true lesson. So it's a little bit of a repeat. Now, if you think that's going to be confusing, please do what works best for you. All right. So you have the before you begin section, so you can go through this. And then you have the lesson, well, sorry, you have a review section before the actual lesson begins. Oh, before I go to what the review section, the only thing I don't read through is if there was like a little tip section. Here, I usually don't read through. All right, so then you have the review section, and from here, as I said, sometimes I will go through the phonogram cards. For the word card section, I will just go to the activity book, and whether it's some of the sentences, phrases, or the words listed in that particular activity. Wherever we stopped off from the last lesson, I will just continue and have them go through there for fluency. And I always do this little previous concept section where they build the word, divide it into syllables, and tag it. I really like these little exercises, and I always have them do those. All right, new teaching. Teach to drop the E rule. So build the word poking. And as you can see here, it has this in quotation marks, so that's what you're going to say to them. All right. So divide this word into syllables. And they by now should know that they are going to divide it by taking the consonant. The suffix, is going to grab the last consonant. However, in the little tip section here, they will let them know that they can actually use the one consonant tile syllable division rule, or they can use the suffix syllable division rule. Okay, so they're gaining more than one ways to be able to divide words into syllables. All right, so you will go through that. As I said, all of these sections for you to read are in quotation marks, and they will practice on the board. Then I will take some of the extra words that's included and have them practice as much as possible. If it's a longer lesson, we wouldn't finish the entire lesson. We would just stop, at a place that seems natural, so to speak, and then pick up from the next lesson. I don't try to finish an entire lesson in a sitting. And I think I've shared this in a video, probably a homeschool update video last year, that I had to get to a point where I realized that I just needed to pace myself with this program, because at a certain point I was getting overwhelmed, and that's probably what shaped how I use the program now. And I really do like it. I just had to, use it in a way that was best for me, as opposed to trying to do it exactly as it was set up. But of course, you will have to figure out what will work best for you. All right, then it has the section that, referring you to the activity book. So complete the activity sheet, get your magnifying glass. It's time to do some suffix sleuthing, the disappearing E. All right, so turn to the activity book. All right, so we turn to the activity book, and it tells you the pages from the swing into reading activity book. Cut out the word cards and place them in a pile. Cut a slit along the dotted line as indicated on. So of course, this is if it is you're going to actually do the activity. I used a lot of the activities when I was using the level 1, because of course my children were much younger, and they are fun. I think especially if they're using this at a younger age, it actually can be really fun. It is a lot of work and a lot of prep, that is definitely the case. But once you can get through that, if you're using it with younger children, the activities can make it really fun for them. Have your student select a word card from the pile and read the word aloud. He will then place the card in the empty box next to the ing on the detective dog sheet and slide the card into the slot until the E is covered up and replaced by the ing. Then your student should read the new word that has been created. All right, so they're going to take these words and cut them out, and then they're going to take this hope and stick it through the slit so that it's going to, and the E is going to disappear, and it's going to become hoping, making, sharing. All right, so the dog is going to be doing a little bit of detective work. All right, so you'll decide if that's something that would be useful for you. And then the activity book still, you have the practice fluency. So they will go through the words, sentences, phrases, depending on the particular lesson for fluency. Now, sometimes it can be a lot. This lesson is not that much. Now, I guess it depends on the child. It's back and front for fluency after the actual activity. You'll decide if that's too much or not. But some lessons can have quite a bit of practice. Okay, like look at lesson 15. You have 1, 2, 3 pages. All right, so when it's a lot of words, sentences, phrases, I will just choose some for them to go through, and we will pick up during the next lesson. And then to end off the lesson, they usually recommend that you read aloud to your student for 20 minutes, a story or poem. I just allow our nighttime read alouds, which I was able to get into a little routine with that to cover for that. I only read to them 4 days a week though, Monday through Thursday, most times. And one of the books that I have been using for a while is a really thick book. It does have quite a few poems in there, but we've taken a break recently because I'm reading from a woman's book because it was Women's Month and I have 3 girls. Long story, but anyway, but I let that cover for the my reading time with them, so I don't make it like anything too stressful. I don't really use the not really. I don't use the progress charts anymore. I used to use them when they were younger, but you can do what will work best for you. All right, so now I will do the flip through of the manual. Alright, thank you very much for watching, and I will talk to you in another video. Bye.